Hello, you YouTube subscribers out there. This is Dan Leone, Plastic Model Building 101. And I am going to be doing a kit review on 3 vintage Hasegawa 1/32nd scale aircraft that were in between World War I and World War II. One of them, actually a couple of them, did see action with several foreign air forces in the early years of World War II, even before the United States got into the war. So, without further ado, I will share with you some kits that I have, and also have an aftermarket part, which I find them very, very useful. So, we're going to start off with Boeing P-12. This is this aircraft did serve in the Army Air Corps before, after World War I and before World War II. It was in between, like I said, in between wars. There was a few of them that went to foreign air forces, and some of them might have seen action. I think the Nationals Chinese acquired one, and wanted to see how well it went against the Japanese aircraft, especially before the Japanese had the Zero. The Japanese had A5M Claudes and other fighters that I can't even pronounce. But let's take a look at the kit, shall we? This is an oldie but goodie. I got this kit, believe it or not, of all places, at a garage sale. Actually, it was the owner, who was a hobbyist, passed away, and anyway, his wife was selling all these kits. Looked at the decals. The decals are a little questionable. I don't see any yellowing or anything like that, but it looks like they can be used, but I could probably just get some aftermarket kits, aftermarket stars, and a U.S. Army, and try to make what you call a aftermarket candy cane striped tail, and of course unit insignia and emblems and so forth. But doesn't look too terribly shabby, but who knows. Anyway, here's the instructions. This is pretty much, I mean, the explanation of the instructions is pretty much straightforward. I don't see any any fiddly parts or anything like that. It looks like it's all pretty straightforward. And I've built this kit in the past, and believe it or not, it is a fun build. Looking at the parts, the rudder is molded to the vertical stabilizer, and once you cut it out and sand it out real good, sand it all around, especially the leading and the trailing edge, you get rid of some of the flash. It looks pretty straightforward. Here's some engine parts, a couple of ordnance pieces, like some wing mounted bombs, and of course the cowling. And look too bad. The parts themselves, I mean, I don't see any flash. I mean, there's a couple of things here and there you might want to, clip off, and some little bit of you might have to do a little sanding here and there. But all in all, like I said, I mean, you got the molded cockpit right here, the cockpit walls and all that. You can just get a paint pen and just paint all that in, or airbrush, cockpit color. And of course, this is all the exhaust for all the putting the mount on the cylinders, wing struts, fuselage halves, landing gear, middle strut, and of course where the machine guns and everything go. It doesn't, and of course it comes with a little nameplate, a little display nameplate you want to put on if you want. Let's say you want to build a diorama or something like that. The engine's pretty much molded all in one. You got the cover for all the cylinders right here. They're protecting the gearbox and so forth. It's already covered and everything. I can just get a little paint pen of gunmetal and just paint all the cylinders and everything and put a little bit of wash, and presto, it shouldn't be that bad. Of course, you have the pilot right here, the front part, and the back part right here too. Put that together, sand it down real good, and just paint the appropriate colors and everything, and it should come out really good. Of course, you got the rudder pedals and everything for the cockpit, instrument panels right here, and but all in all, it looks like a pretty good sized kit. Of course, the horizontal stabilizer and the wings are painted yellow, so this is a pretty much, you know, the basic coloring what the aircraft looked like back in the 30s when it flew in the Army Air Corps. You got the prop right here and everything, and it looks, and to me, it looks like it's a pretty good, nice kit. Of course, the seat's right here. Here's the seat. Show you real quick. Here's the seat, and so it's a basic seat. You can put some aftermarket seat belts, like some what you call photo etch seat belt parts and so forth, or some tape, and make some makeshift seat belt buckles, and should be pretty good. So all in all, this kit looks like a pretty good, nice kit to work on. It doesn't look too intimidating. When I first built this kit, I must have been about maybe 14, 15 years old when I built this kit, and when I first saw it, it looked pretty intimidating. But I got to tell you, all in all, it was a fun kit. Here are the decals, and we'll just put all that back in here. Okay, next kit we're going to talk about is the Boeing P-26 Peashooter. This too was in the Army Air Corps, and matter of fact, if you want to see one flying, I would suggest you go to Chino, California, to the Planes of Fame Museum. Of course, they're going to be moving their museum to Santa Monica, California, from Chino, California, and I got to tell you, the P-26 was flown in foreign service with the Philippine Air Force during the early years of World War II. And from what I understand, that the P-26 did manage to hold their own. They were flown by the U.S. Army Air Corps and also in the Philippines. Some of them were based at Pearl Harbor at the time of the attack, but unfortunately they were destroyed on the ground. The last known Air Force that did fly the P-26 Peashooter, believe it or not, was Guatemala, and they flew the P-26 well into the 50s, to about the late 50s, like around 1957, 58. Anyway, the Philippines flew them until they were, of course, until they were overwhelmed and overrun by the Japanese. Anyway, this was the first low wing fighter that the Army Air Corps acquired in the mid 1930s. So let's see about the kit. I built this kit too, and believe it or not, it's a fun kit. Hasegawa makes some really nice kits, especially 148 scale and 38 scale. I did see some kits. You know, I did build some kits of 1/32 scale. 1/72 scale, and not too bad. Looks like, well, you have two part trees, and the parts They're very crisp, as you can see. I hardly ever see any flash. Yes, you might have to clean up, you know, here and there, but all in all, it looks like a really nice, fun kit to work on. As you can see in this part, in this kit, you would have to, let's see if I can get this out real quick. Sometimes you gotta get mean. Roar. Mm-hmm. Be careful not to break any parts loose. Get that out of there. That old stale cracker would say, "Get that out of there." Decals in pretty good shape. As you can see, you have Filipino markings right here, and of course you have the Army Air Corps markings with different squadrons. The parts and pieces, they look really good. I don't really see any raised panel lines, but the detail of it looks really nice. Parts are very crisp, thick. Like I said, I built this kit in the past, and like I said, it's a very fun kit to build. So, like I said, don't feel intimidated by it. Of course, like always, they include a nameplate. Let's say if you want to build a diorama and you want to include this in, I mean, that's a good idea. Now with the engine, you would have to put the cylinders in. You would have to assemble the engine. The engine block is this part right here. And here's the engine cover. Here is the manifold or the exhaust pipes here, the propeller, so forth, the flaps. All in all, I mean, it looks like it's like I said, looks like a fun kit to build. And of course, you have just a front glass for the cockpit, and that looks like a fun kit to build. This looks like a pretty fun kit to build. I built this kit in the past, and it's a very fun kit to build. With the cowling, oh, I see some flash right here. You're gonna have to, cut off and sand, and just be very careful not to overdo it. But yeah, there's some flash here and there. So yeah, but you know what? When you have a model kit that, these model kits were constructed in the 70s, and anyway, but most of these kits are but still a fun kit to build. Have here the instructions, the history of it in different languages, in English, looks like Japanese, Chinese, and all the specifications of the aircraft. Look through it, straightforward. I mean, you can't really go wrong with this kit. And of course, I like it when the instructions are like a booklet. Of course, as you can see, you have to put the engine together. You got to put the block together, and then put the cylinders and so forth. But now it says here, and also in the previous kits, you see all these wires in here that you got to put in, like support wires and things like that. I have something for that you can use, and believe me, it's very easy to handle too. So we'll continue on with that. Now, got my cat Boudreaux here. He's kind of wondering what the hell I'm doing. He's probably looking away to want to pull his shenanigans and be able to be a part of the Dan Leone Plastic Model Building 101, my Cajun cat. So you'll probably see him here in a little bit. Last but not least, this is a Curtiss BF2C-1. This too was a Navy fighter. It was a Navy fighter, and the first fighter to have the retractable gear, especially in the fuselage, and that's where the F4F Wildcat that came originate from. So So we'll go ahead and look at that. Now, as earlier on the P-12E, the Navy had a similar aircraft, which was called the F-4B, and the Navy used those until till the early 1940s. When they were withdrawn in service in 1940 till 1939, 1940. They were kind of like single seat trainers, which they trained pilots in before they went to the Wildcat or the whatever airplane that was available. But anyway, but let's take a look at this kit. And I actually have built this kit in the past, and this is a fun kit. This too is a fun build. As you can see, there's a few part trees here, and it looks like a pretty straightforward kit. Very sturdy. I look at the decals. Here are the decals right here. You have different wing colors for different squadrons, different Navy squadrons, and of course numbers and so forth for whatever squadrons that have this aircraft. And of course you have the fuselage band right here too. Here's the instruction manual, and as you can see, instructions really straightforward. I mean, you can't get no better than this. I mean, I built this kit in the past, and it's a very, very fun kit to build. A lot of these Hasegawa, I've never really had an issue with any of these kit issue. If I had a fit issue, all you had to do was sand it down until it fit right, and man, boom, it fit like a glove. The parts just fit like a glove. Like I said, these kits have different paint schemes. You can see, you can have like different colored tails, because each colored tail you had different Navy squadrons into different ships. I think, if I'm not correctly, I mean, if you correct me in the comments, but what were all the Navy, what were the squadron colors, or what was the ship's colors? I think the Lexington, if I'm not mistaken, was red. The Yorktown was green. I don't know. So if you do know, please put it down in the comments. I would deeply appreciate it. So that's pretty much it with the kit reviews. Like I said, these are fun kits to build. Very fun kits to build. I've really had a complaint. Now, for the support wiring, like in between the wings and the fuselage, things like that, these are really good. So, I mean, these are really good. I mean, you just take a little tape measure, whatever. I think in the instructions it shows you, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere it shows you the lengths on how to cut these, if I'm not mistaken. But if not, then you can just get like a little small ruler and just kind of measure them out and see how long you need. And but all in all, I think it's a fun kit. This is a very fun kit to build. Can't wait to build. As you can see, these kits right here, you have the P-12E, you have the F-4B, and the P-26. I do have the F-4B kit, but it's pretty much the same as this kit right here, except this is Army, this is Navy, and also I think also the Marines flew these as well too. So actually, the Chinese, the nationalist Chinese, did fly this. And if you really want to make some modifications to this kit, the Chinese had the only difference, the Chinese had a 3-bladed prop. Also, their colors were olive drab green with the nationalist Chinese colors. So These did see action against A5Ms, Kai 27s, also Japanese bombers and so forth. And from what I understand, they were, well, in a way, they kind of held their own, but then later on in the war, when the Japanese came out with the Japanese Zero and the Oscar and so forth, well, you know, the tables turned. Then later on, the Chinese went to the P-40 and the P-40 Warhawk. So anyway, here's some, like I said, aftermarket. This is a, you know, for the wings and so forth, but, you know, support wires. And so instead of just having string and having to, you know, lick the end and put it through the hole and things like that, and all in all, I think this is the better way to go, if you ask me. So anyway, this is Dan Leone, Plastic Model Building 101. Springtime, seasons are changing. We're going to start having spring rains over here. Pollen, allergies. Oh my God, my allergies are going to be driving me crazy. So, but anyway, until next time, happy modeling, happy building, whatever makes you happy. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Anyway, all right. Have a good day. Happy modeling.